another thing, when you're eating in Italy, or you're just getting a snack at a snack bar, there's many, many cafes and snack bars in Rome. Unless you really, really want to sit down, it's a lot cheaper, like almost 3 times cheaper in some cases, to not sit down when they ask you, would you like to sit down or eat at the bar? Just say, I'm going to eat at the bar. And by eating at the bar, I mean standing up and eating at the bar. There's a charge for sitting down. It's almost like being on Topanga Canyon or something. There's an unexpected stop. Tailgating is pretty normal most of the time here, but I think they cut foreigners a little slack. A lot of people ride. Half the population of Rome rides scooters, literally. 50% of the people ride, so they're a little more aware of two-wheelers. I think this is the way I went last time. I wonder if school's out for the day. I guess it would be, yeah, it's like 2 o'clock. So there's a cool looking little village on the mountainside. Building some large apartment over there. I was rambling about how people don't wear gear here when they're riding around town. And I think I mentioned that it's basically because it's a way of life to ride to work and so forth, and ride to dinner, and ride to meet your friends and so forth, and go to movies and whatnot. And of course, if you're wearing a full-on spacesuit the way I do, it's highly impractical. I know where we are now. So there's a little cafe up here. It's a nice view here. I think I'll just stop the bike for a minute. Just park it right here. So if you're wearing full gear like this, it's not really practical, right? I mean, you can't exactly go anywhere dressed like this. When you get there, you have to take all your shit off and store it somewhere. And that's pretty lame and impractical in real life. So ACAT isn't really all that sensible here. So that's someone's house and backyard. This is a really nice view. Rome is somewhere that way. So there's a big valley out there, huh? So I can understand these people not wearing gear, because it's not like America, where most Americans... Let some air in. We generally ride for fun, the vast majority of us. Like weekend warriors and stuff like that, canyon runs. But these people ride, as a part of life. It's like a replacement for their car. So that's the difference, I think. I think if I were in their shoes, I probably would not wear gear either. Even as it is, when I go to work, I only wear a jacket. I don't wear my pants as much, which is kind of dumb, but given how inattentive American drivers are. But it is definitely more practical and convenient not to. And sometimes you're more comfortable too. If it's a hot day, wearing all kinds of gear isn't really comfortable. And it can be distracting. So I've got maps this time because last night I decided to go riding around Rome without my maps. I figured I wouldn't go very far, and then next thing you know, I take a wrong turn here, a wrong turn there, I end up on some highway. I come back into the city, like some totally different spot, and then I just wander for the next 3 hours trying to... In this area, Rome is really small too. It's maybe 10 miles across or less. No, it's something like 10 miles across, I think. It's a really small region, so it's pretty ridiculous to be lost in there. It's like getting lost in your own house. And the streets are very narrow, and they just go everywhere. And there's a lot of one-way streets. So it was really easy to get lost and go in circles endlessly. This is what I did. So this is the rental bike. I'd argue this is the ugliest bike I've ever seen in my life. But hey, some people really dig this style. So it's seen its share of battle damage. Scratches all over. At least they put fairly fresh tires on the bike. Lots of tread. I've also written down some phrases here. Nearest gas station, how do I get to such and such a place? Centro is the magic word. So when I was lost last night, wandering around, I ended up finally stopping next to a guy on a scooter and said, Dove il centro? Where is the center? And he pointed me in the right direction. It turns out I was all of 2 miles off course. I was 2 miles away from the hotel, going just in crazy weird circles, going back and forth across a large bridge and all kinds of crazy shit. And the whole time I was literally 3 miles from the hotel. And I thought I was drifting. I thought I was way out of the city practically, but I was just around some apartments. So after that experience, I decided to bring my maps along, and I assumed that I can somehow intuit and deduce where I'm going and where I am.